How are we going, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. And we are doing an unboxing tonight. You already know what it is. You read the title. You clicked on the thumbnail. So you've seen the front cover before I have. But, yeah, I've pre-ordered this a while ago. And we've got in here the Thin Lizzy 74-75 box set. Let's have a look. And, hold up. Right, hold up. Swiss Army knife. Right, so let's have a look on the sticker. We've got nightlife and fighting. And this is a particularly special time in the Thin Lizzy back catalogue, in the period of Thin Lizzy. So, if this is your first viewing of the channel, then click into the description, and I've got a whole Thin Lizzy list of various unboxings, and I even did a Thin Lizzy retrospective. So, where I go through the entire back catalogue, so I can go into a bit more detail here. But right, there we go. Right. Here it is, 74-75. So this is nightlife and fighting. And right, what's particularly special about this period of the band is that it's a transitional period for the band, because they've gone from a three-piece with Phil Lynott on bass and vocals, Brian Downey on drums, Eric Bell on guitar. Eric Bell abruptly leaves the band, and they then become a four-piece, because when he left them pretty high and dry at short notice, and they said, well, if that ever happens again with two guitarists, there's not much chance of that happening, because we'll still be able to fall back on the one guitarist. That was their logic. So these two albums, so Nightlife in 74, Fighting in 75, it's the first lineup. So we've got the dynamic duo of Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham on guitar. And Nightlife is quite a transitional album, where you've got the Thin Lizzy that we know and love today, i.e. The Boys Are Back in Town, i.e. you know, the stuff you're going to hear if you get a greatest hits, the stuff you're more likely to hear on the radio. On the first three albums with Eric Bell, they're a very different band, very folky, very bluesy, bit cream, bit psychedelic. Like, they're wearing their influences on their sleeve, and it's all very solid, it's all very good, but they've not quite become the Thin Lizzy that we know and love today, is what I'm saying. A very different band from what they would become, and Nightlife just slots in the middle. We're one step away from that original lineup, but we've not quite become who they would go on to be. So Nightlife is a really interesting album, but great songs. Songs like She Knows, It's Only Money's got a bit of swagger to it. Still in Love with You would obviously go on to be a hit that the band would even play in their latest incarnation. It would be a mainstay. But then you've got beautiful songs with strings like Dear Heart. Again, talking about swagger, you've got Only Money, but you've also got Shalala. Showdown, another great song. You could argue, though, like kicking off with a song like She Knows, it's actually quite laid back. It's not quite, they're not quite rock yet. But Nightlife, the following year in 1975, not Nightlife, sorry, Fighting. I'm looking at the track listing there. We'll go into this in a second. But Fighting, it's quite funny because it kicks off with Rosalie. Obviously another well-known track for Thin Lizzy, but it is actually a Bob Seger cover. It's quite funny that they open with a cover. I always thought that was a bit weird. But the second track, For Those Who Love to Live, it opens with that twin, and it's just like, yes, that twin lead, that sound of Brian and Scott together. That is the moment where Thin Lizzy, as we would know them, is born, in my eyes, in my opinion. And then we got great songs like Fighting. I love that song. Wild One, beautiful. Suicide, again, you've got the swagger that I was talking about earlier. Fighting My Way Back, which I've just mentioned. Excuse me, I love that song. So Ballad of a Hard Man. You've got two great albums. It's a collection of great songs back to back, but it's just great seeing that transition, just seeing the band evolve in those 2 albums. So for them to be collected here together, I think is a really good shout. So shall we get into it? Where did I do with that sticker? So we have got newly remixed tracks from Scott Gorham and Richard Whittaker. We've got 7 discs of original mixes, unreleased tracks, BBC sessions, exclusive live show from 1975. That's something to look forward to. And we've got obviously Mark Blake. He's been doing, I think he's done the past couple of ones, if I remember rightly. Liner notes from Mark Blake, interviews, so on and so forth. We've got rare posters, memorabilia. Yeah, so let's have a look, shall we? It's pretty much the same layout as what we've got with the last couple of reissues. What have we got? We've got Vagabonds of the Western World, Live and Dangerous, and 1976. So that was Jailbreak and Johnny the Fox, which I have previously unboxed. Feel free to go and have a look. These are for your viewing pleasure, but also if you're thinking of picking it up, at least you know what you are getting. I've taken the plunge for you. So here we go. Great Nightlife album artwork there. I've given a bit of a summary of the 2 albums, but if you go back and watch the retrospective, where I basically sit here for over an hour, I think I might even do 2 hours. I just go through the catalogue, the whole catalogue front to back. I re-listened because I did get a notification that this was being dispatched, so I quickly, and I was on doing a night shift, so I made a point of re-listening to Nightlife and Fighting, and I did both albums back to back, and yet again, it's got to be said, I absolutely love this band, love them to death, and they're a band I never get sick of, and every time I do sit down and listen to a Thin Lizzy album, I'm just reminded why I love them. So you're getting lots of insight and write-ups here of the period that this was released in. Again, this is becoming quite a collection now. We're getting really good insight. The collection of all the posters and the artwork and the singles and all that good stuff. And I think I'm at the point. I mean, I'm not. I might be able to. Is there a lot of point in me having the original CDs? I might just keep these and make some space on the shelf. I've kept them all, but I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to the Black Rose edition of this. I hope they do the whole catalogue. I hope you got all this stuff here. I hope they do Thunder and Lightning. That's the underrated gem. What is this? This is all studio. Is this it's the master reel. So this is photos of the master reel. Then you got all some credits there. So so you get all the artworks, alternative artworks, because Fighting actually had 2 different covers. There's some band photos there. Say the classic lineup, so to speak. I mean, they never had a bad lineup, did they? But yeah, so as always, you get your nice hardback coffee table book, 7 CDs. Obviously, I've just unboxed it now, so I've not heard them yet. But I am looking forward to this 1975 show. But what else have we got? We've got Nightlife, the original mix, Nightlife, the new 2025 mix. Same again with Fighting. Then we've got Nightlife, outtakes, B-sides, edits, and all that good stuff. So some stuff you may have already had on previous special editions, but this promises a load of exclusive stuff as well. Then you've got a load of alternative mixes on disc number 5. Then we've got some BBC sessions from 1974, a Bob Harris session from 1974 as well. Live in concert, 1974 as well. That's not a full concert though, but you do get a full gig on disc number 7, 1975 at the College of Technology in Derby. Oh, we get another Another John Peel session as well. So even though you've got the albums previously, I do have a BBC Sessions. I think it's a 2 CD, but I think there was a more comprehensive collection. But I found that a bit harder to get hold of and a bit pricey. So hopefully you get them all collected throughout these box sets anyway. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Another addition to the collection. I'm enjoying this series, and yeah, more of the same in a good way. The standard has been maintained, and I'm looking forward to the series continuing. So hopefully that's useful for you, and I'll see you all later.